So we're going to break into small groups so that everyone has a chance to speak. And the goal is really to share some alternatives that you've experienced to a typical format. On the other hand, there's no typical format from RYLA. For RYLA, I've discovered, talking with different districts, it's all focused on leadership. But some are 3 days, some are a week long, etc. So what we're looking for today are what are some ways that we are enlivening RYLA? What are we doing to extend RYLA in different ways? So I think going into your small groups, feel free to share some ideas. You won't have enough time to go into your idea in depth, but make sure that there's a recorder who is putting information about these ideas into the chat. And then when we come back together as a whole in about 30 minutes, I would like for one person from each small group to report out as quickly as you can some of the key ideas. The essence of this gathering is for each of us to connect with new people we don't know and to be able to follow up. So you're not going to get all of the information you need today. So let's go ahead and break into, there's 20 of us. I would say, let's go ahead and do 4 small groups, and then we'll come back in 30 minutes and report out. Each group will have a couple of minutes to report out. Does that work, Andrew and Allison?
Yes, and if we end up in the same one because you're doing it randomly, I'll move myself.
Great, and I noticed a couple from 5150, if they end up in the same group, how do they decide, what do they do if they want to change groups?
I think you can move them around yourself.
Okay.
And certainly Andrew will be able to help us, I'm sure.
I would like you to do that because I'll be in a group myself.
Don't worry.
So I think if Andrew and Allison, if you could go ahead and do that moving. I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully you're in the right place. And let's go into small groups.
Okay, I'm setting that up right now. If we have 4 groups, that means 2 groups will have either you or Allison as a facilitator, and the other 2 groups will be self-facilitated if you would like to go with 4 groups.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
3 of us are from the same district, just so you know, Joan, Allison, so maybe separating us somehow.
Let's see what we have here. Hi, Elizabeth. That's not Benjamin.
Hello.
Elizabeth, would you like to be in a breakout room?
I was just testing the different links, helping Art.
Okay.
So good to see you all. Martin, you're fabulous.
Is there a facilitator in each of the rooms right now?
No, our main facilitator wanted 4 small groups, and I mentioned twice that would mean 2 of the groups don't have a facilitator, and he's continued to say that's what he wanted to do. So I just sent them the 2 groups. I sent all the groups a note to have a timekeeper and yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so maybe what you guys can do is that the 2 you can join one of the rooms, Andrew, and,
Well,
and maybe Elizabeth, you can do the same.
no, I'm totally happy to help, guys. But the link that I'm on right now, just so you know, is I clicked on creating alternative formats for RYLA, track 5 from the grid.
Yep.
And it took me here.
That's where you are.
So is there just nobody in it?
No, they're in the
breakout rooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there are 2 rooms that don't have a facilitator.
Did I just get left in the waiting room? Is that what happened? Because I was just waiting.
You're in the main room.
Now you're in the main.
Oh, sorry, if you were waiting, that's my fault.
No, I'm tracking.
I had
So I
several
was
screens
checking
open
them
at
out.
the same
Martin, I
time.
was going through the links. That's what happened.
Yeah, so I'm doing what you're doing, Elizabeth. I'm going to each of the rooms, and I have to log on as I can break in without the waiting room if I'm
The host, yeah. Do you want me to facilitate? I'm happy to, you guys.
Yeah, I would both
Happy
of you
to.
jump into those empty rooms. So
So
Andrew,
put me,
you can join that room.
3,
Put Elizabeth in
room
one.
3 or 4.
you
You
just
need
put
me
me
to put you in
wherever you
there?
want. Nope, just
And
put me
then, but
wherever.
make her the co-host first.
Make her a co-host first. Make co-host. Okay.
And Scott, just so you know, I mean, I'm just helping Art out. So wherever you want, you know what I'm saying? Like this, anybody just pull me in, whatever.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Thank you all.
I'm not adding your stress.
I don't have stress.
Your answer was amazing. You're like, just keep them in your warm thoughts. I was like, that is the best answer ever. Ever.
Hey, so I don't have a list of the questions. I don't know what the topic is even.
So the topic is, well, they'll know it because they chose to be here, but integrate, interact, RYLA and Rotary Youth Exchange. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No. This one is creating alternative formats for RYLA.
Right.
Right. But I don't know what the questions are either, but they should. And where do we find those questions?
I sent them in the last email. The
Okay.
Kid Caboodle
I'll
had-
pull that up super fast and then, okay.
So Elizabeth, are you going to go to 3 or 4?
Just put me wherever, hun. I can't do it. So you just
Can't
tell me
do
where to go. Mm-mm.
Okay, let's see if I can do it here.
You assign her in the other room. Okay. Yeah.
I'll have to figure out how to do that.
So you should have breakout rooms.
Unassigned. Okay. Assign. I'm going to put you in room 3.
Okay. See you soon.
Okay.
I think we're back in the main session, but
Hi, Lynn. I'm about to call everybody back here.
good. To keep on time, it looks like we only have 8 minutes to report out.
Yes. Let's see how I do that. Close all rooms. Gives them 1 minute. I got sucked into the conversation in room 4 where there was not a facilitator, and so I'm back a minute or two late here. So they got 45. They'll all be back in 45 seconds at most. How was your discussion, Lynn?
I think it went well. Mary and Mark are smiling. Alan is smiling, and Amanda is taking notes. I don't know that everyone knows they need to click leave room, but it looks like they're figuring that out.
The rooms will automatically close in 10 seconds and everyone will come back.
Okay.
It wasn't we got fed up with each other, but we just thought we'd better move.
Oh, good. Welcome back, everyone. I'm looking to see if you're smiling or looking perplexed or looks like we are close to everyone. Okay, Amanda, are you back? We who's ready to report out? We have exactly 7 minutes. I think they cut us off at 10:20. It's my.
I'd like Sherry to report for our group, please.
Allison was. Who was talking?
Sherry, report for our group, please. Sherry, unmute yourself.
Our group talked about alternative formats, and I happened to bring up the, in fact, our Elizabeth Mahoney is here. She's our district governor. Anyway, we presented, next week, we will be doing a first ever virtual RYLA online on Zoom from 6 to 10 on Friday night and then all day Saturday. And we talked about that. We've never done it before. All the planning is pretty much done. It will be all student driven. The adults will just be in the background to help out with whatever we need. They will break up into in small groups throughout the program. And how it works is your guess is as good as mine, but we're going to give it a good shot. And I want you to know that our district governor has been very, very supportive on this.
Great.
Because we've had to cancel it twice in person.
Right. Can you just say who we is, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. District 5495 in Arizona.
And
Would you like to tell them Plan B, please, Sherry?
Tell them what?
The other plan.
Oh, the other plan is Mary Helen brought up that they are looking at doing a day camp. They would just come up and do activities for the day, but not have any overnight. Of course,
okay.
With that brings its own issues. And we talked about that, that would parents want to still let their children go? And even if they signed a waiver, but they do get sick, what does that mean?
Sure.
Are you prepared to handle the health protocol? So, everything we're doing has its issues.
That's right. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk so much.
Could you please put information in the chat room about how to reach you so we can learn more about the virtual conference that you have starting?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Another group, please.
I can report.
Perfect, go ahead.
My name is Joan Reback. I'm with 5300. We had a really dynamic conversation, and I really appreciate the input. So it covered a lot of different areas. One of the foundations was that to really look at ways to make keep RYLA meaningful and to help give students a sense that they have some control over their world in these changing times, but to integrate students, not only keeping it in small, safe groups that could be a combination of virtual and some bubbles or small groups, but integrated with people that they normally aren't able to hang out with, which would mean a collaboration potentially of districts, and also creating possibilities that wouldn't exist normally. So how do we seize this moment and be able to utilize it to do things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise? And part of that was looking at maybe pulling people in on a global level and having, if we could create time zones where the time zones could be transcended to pull students in from all over the world at times to be able to talk to each other about meaningful ideas. We were worried about missing school and making it independent of schools, and where do you get your insurance, and the stress now of schools and teachers and recruiting students. And so there was a lot of conversation on that of, the need to make sure you have some waivers if you can't use the school's insurance policies, and working with that and keeping it, but also, so going back to the part, sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over, but going back to the part of integrating the virtual with small groups where students can actually be in a bubble of maybe 10 or 15 students at a distance, safely doing some kind of activity, or hearing a broadcast of a meaningful speaker and then being able to discuss it within that small group, masked and with distance. And giving them that sense of collaborating and working together. Am I going over my time?
That's super. No, we got time mixed up before, so it's not your fault. Is Amanda back? Thank you very much. Those are great ideas. Mary, could you report out for our group? I don't see Amanda.
Yeah, so I'm Mary Hoskins, District 5110. We had some similar ideas about keeping RYLA alive by using, small experiences with watch parties, or as you said, bubbles of smaller groups. So perhaps having a virtual lesson or experience, and then having people participate in challenges that went along with the theme, and possibly including interact in watch parties or that sort of idea. What else did we have? And I don't know, Lynn, if you want to talk about the ALPS project that you initiated in your district, that focuses on service projects, which is, that dovetails nicely with RYLA, I think. So.
As an offshoot of RYLA, we have developed something called ALPS, Action Leadership Program with students. And we find students wherever they are. They could be in an Interact club, a school that doesn't have an Interact club, a nonprofit. We've even found some on social media. They're working on a project that's youth generated. We pair adults, Rotarians with them. We train the adult Rotarians to be better facilitators and to be leadership coaches. And this goes on throughout the year, so it's an extension. We use the 5 practices of exemplary leadership created by Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner in their book, The Leadership Challenge. If you just go Google 5 practices of exemplary leadership, you'll see it. The other thing that came out of our group was almost forgetting about in-person for the moment. Just do all the possible things we can do with virtual, so we don't just frustrate ourselves by preparing to go live and then having to go virtual. I think there's one more group. Sorry to do this so quickly, but which group has not reported yet? Art, has your group reported?
Report for us, or?
Yeah, Joan was our group.
Okay. Which group has not reported?
How about Alan?
He was with the, Alice, it looks like you're trying to talk.
I can report on our group. I'm not going to reiterate what everyone else has already said. So I'll just touch on a couple of things that are different. One thing was to make sure we check on our insurance policies, not only for the kids, but for our counselors. If anything should happen, if we are lucky enough to go live next year.
May I just add, because several of you brought up insurance. I assume you all know that Rotary International has insurance policies that are a rider for everything we do.
Our concern was, it was brought up that some insurances are eliminating COVID coverage. And we just wanted to be sure that we weren't caught in that loop. And the other thing we talked about was saving the integrity of RYLA. If we do choose to go virtual, to make sure we either call it something else or to maintain our integrity as our young people put this camp on their college applications, military applications, and we don't want to lose our reputation over that. So just some different things we talked about.
That's great. So I think you're saying if we do virtual, consider branding it differently?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
All right. It looks like we're...
Just worth mentioning is you would have to follow the laws of the state in which you're in. I'm from the UK and we've got England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland, and I'm in Wales, and our rules are completely different to England. So you've got to obey the rules of where you are and where it's situated as well.
Yeah. That's great. It looks like people are now entering this room from others. So I think this session is a wrap, and we move on to the next session. Thanks, everyone. Great ideas.